Be on your guard.
Wow, this place is beautiful.
Yeah, it must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renans sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagan and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagan and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait, don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less. She would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty. Instead, I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right. Alphen,
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll let... likely offer their... system.
Damn it. Lenegis soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them now. Wanting to fight?
Oh! I am Lord Dohalim of Elda Menancia. I command you.
The rest of the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed enough. If they want to fight, they got one.
The enemy feels us too.
You'll soon see about that.
Too strong.
Split it open!
Be my guest.
Field. Gravitas field.
Ignite!
Get toasty.
Bird strike!
Malevolent.
Now you see what I can do! My shield? All good things come to an end. Laser spear!
Pierce evil.
Explosive ring!
Freeze
We're not finished!
Get toasty.
Bird strike!
No! Take this!
Anything in there! Hold on! See what happened there as you crossed.
More with enemy.
You're finished!
Swallow dance! I'll finish you right now!
The flame inside me is yours to be let free! Take this! Crush!
Dragon shout!
Air thrust.
Burn! I'm not done!
Now.
Demons descend! Flashing fang!
Fall back!
Hit.
Fire on that! Dragon Storm! Sterling Wing! Take this! Straight up!
Dragon shout!
Do it.
Demons descend! Flashing fang!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
Oh, wow.
No choice! Take this!
Take this! I'm on it!
These ones can run rings around us.
Damn.
Here goes the spear. Here's the reflex. Don't give up.
Do it! Dohalim!
All yours, Kisara!
I'll bring you back from death to base.
In a bind? That's enough!
Here I come! Dragon Form!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Lunar corruption! Lunar blast!
Sword Rain Alpha! More!
Look sharp! Lightning tiger blade! Eat
Lunar
this!
temptation!
Too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Stardust! The flame inside me is yours to be let free!
Dohalim!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
This should come in handy when crafting weapons.
Yeah. Wow.
Prepare to be seized!
As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
Take it! Sword Rain Alpha! Dragon Form! Now! Strike! Armor won't save you! Try harder! Dragon Form! I'm not done!
That one's mine.
Dragon Form!
I'll be saving this one. Here, Radiant Storm! More with that
Oh.
Ignite!
Dragon Form! Radiant Cyclone! Here!
All finish you here!
First aid! Don't leave me! I'm out of ammo!
Inferno Punch! Watch this!
Chinese!
Eagle Assault!
The flames will roar! Burn! Dance in the wind!
You're mine!
Air drop!
Take this!
Photon!
Dragon
Gemini Alpha!
Take it!
Eagle Assault!
I'm not done!
Watch it!
Here I come! Dragon Swarm! Armor won't save you!
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara! I'll heal you all!
Dragon Swarm! Try this!
Healing circle! I'm ready!
Explosive ring!
Celestial field! Ice Cloud!
My turn!
Razor
This
Fire!
time!
Here!
Here I come!
The flames will roar! Glacial Spear!
Ignite! You're mine! Dragon Swarm!
I'm on a roll now!
Talon Hurricane! Glimmer Dragon! All finished
Where
where
are
you
you
go!
going?
I'm not done!
More where that came from!
Anything in
Celestial
order!
Field!
My turn!
Everyone, get
Dragon
back!
Swarm!
It's too dangerous! First aid!
Strike! I'll smash you! Try harder! My turn!
Leave the chargers to me!
Dragon Swarm! In a bind? Take it!
First aid!
Dragon Swarm!
Glacial Spear! Pierce evil! Dance in the wind! And here's Lancer!
Burn in hell! Watch it!
I'll be saving
Dragon
you!
Swarm!
Let me help! Lightning aid!
Take it!
More where that came from! Hurry!
I'm not done!
Sleep! Now!
You're mine! Now I'm real mad!
Kisara, frozen!
Hammer!
Remember to tell me if you need healing.
I expect you'll be in high demand if that's the case.
Ow! For my lord! Struck! In a vine? Dragon Swarm! I'm going in! Engaging! I'm on a roll now! I'm not done! You shouldn't have messed with me!
My watch!
Now! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! Here I come! I'm not trying hard! My turn! Let him inside me! Yours to be let free! Dragon I'll crush you! Lightning Reflexes! Tenebrous Claw! Dragon Come on! Sword Rain Alpha!
That'll bring you down.
Dragon Swarm!
Lunar Blast! Do it! Sion! Astral Energy! Full throttle!
My turn!
Glacial Spear!
Get
Pierce
in!
evil!
Right punch!
Freeze Lancer!
Severing Wind!
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
Glacial spear. Pierce the evil.
Take that! Freaking does it! Lane Alpha! Here I come! Strike! Fire support!
Glacial spear. Pierce the evil.
Take this! Severing wind!
Glacial spear.
I'll finish you here! Lane Alpha!
I need to be stronger.
Sure. Hey.
I won't forgive you.
You got spirit! In a vine?
How long are we gonna keep this up for exactly? Please now.
Dragon Swarm!
The marksman handles it.
These six have got your name on. Yeah! And the puppet to me!
I never miss.
Here I come! Strike! Start up!
Here I go.
Now you see what I do!
Ikara! I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
Glacial spear. Pierce the evil.
Take it! I'll crush you! Ah! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! I'm on a roll now! Win!
Now.
Take them off! Look sharp! Lightning tiger blade! I'm practically unstoppable.
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone making them stand the guard over the Forbidden Zone?
It's on! Take this! Absorb! You picked the wrong fight! Now I'm real mad!
Annihilation.
Dragon Swarm! I'll tell you what! Time to cross blade!
Raging cascades. Annihilation.
Explosive ring! I'll crush you! Ah! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Eat this!
Here's a healing arm.
Take this! Dragon Swarm! That freaking does it!
Ready to go.
It's over! Now I'm real mad!
In here.
I'm not done! You're finished!
Healing circle. Shining supernova. There.
You're mine! I'm not done! In a
There.
vine? I'll crush you! Ah! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Watch this! You're mine! Go away! I'm not trying to my turn! Tectonic Dragon Swarm! This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield said. Get behind me!
Done! I'll leave it to you! Explosive ring! This one's all mine! Dragon Swarm! In the group! Now you see what I can do!
That'll bring you down.
These six has got your name on them! Dragon Shout! Take this! Inferno Punch!
Here, let me help. Glacial spear. Pierce the evil.
Eat this! I'll crush you! Ah! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Eat this!
Will this help?
Dragon!
Leave the
I'll tear
charges
you
to me!
apart! Try hard! Not a chance!
Pull myself together.
Take this! Dragon Swarm! You're mine! I'll tear you apart!
You require a hand.
I'm on explosive
This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
Mantap.
I won't forgive you!
Take this!
Can't get out of this!
The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
It's like trying to keep up with a wall!
Here I come! I'm not done!
You see what happened there is you crossed me. Shouldn't have done that.
Take
I
this!
just pull myself
You
all
picked the
down.
wrong fight! Dragon Force!
Radiant Flight!
Explosive ring!
Now you see what I watch there.
Don't leave him!
Damn it.
Now,
Demons descend! Flashing bang!
I'll bring you back from death to this!
Now I'm in trouble.
I'll bring you back from death to this! I'll bring you back from death to this! Magic is I'll bring you back from death to this! Freeze, Lancer! You get the gist. In here!
So fine not too long ago.
In the wind!
Not done yet!
Who hasn't done yet?
Dragon Force!
Glacial Spear! Beyond Astral Energy! Full throttle! Here's the healing wind! First aid!
Sword Ring!
Eat this! Talon Storm!
Photon Blast!
Strike!
From
Eat
First
this!
aid!
Talon Storm! Watch it!
Now we're not... Supernova! Arctic Waterfall! In here! I'll be saving Fury! Burning Straw!
Damn it.
Glacial Spear!
I'm not done! Stay away from my friend! Dragon Swarm!
Do it! Hikara, I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop your life!
Hey! Anyone else think this might be a touch too dangerous?
Ridwell's right. We should fall back to regroup and try again later.
Oh, wrong one. Shit.
Go no further!
Not today! Here I come!
I'll bring you down!
I'm the true gunslinger around here.
You're mine!
In here, healing circle!
Rising
Lord of the
Falcon!
stockpile!
Win! Coming through! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Radiant Pierce!
You're mine!
Back into the fray!
An astral arc.
That's my shield!
Shut him down!
My blood in your dreams!
Dragon Swarm!
Desperate blood! Dance in the wind!
You're mine!
Air drop!
Release Storm! Here I come! Wind!
Hurricane!
No escape!
You get the gist! Air drop!
Try harder! It's on! Ignite!
Wind astral energy!
Take this!
Fire in the hole! Here I go! Purge Celestial! Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Not a chance!
You shouldn't have messed with me!
Mega Ray!
Can't get out of this!
Grind and red!
Dragon Swarm!
Eat this! Do it! Kitara! Frozen!
Hammer!
Glacial
No!
Spear!
Here I
Pierce!
come!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! There's always room for improvement.
yourself finished!
Malevolent!
Now! Here I come!
Now you see what I can do!
Like steel! Searing gale! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
All disasters
Not a
made
chance.
one!
Dragon
Demons descend! Flashing fang!
Looks like we got them all.
Hujan ya. Kipas.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alvin.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for. Let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So,
Ow.
what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people. If we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegis. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
No, boys, please. Heal first. Nggak kuat mata.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
Kok nanya gua sih?
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power
We
when...
can talk later. Here it comes!
What? I've never known Faria to control Zeugles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master sword?
Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the truth, then we get some answers.
Go for the weak point!
Charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Healing forward hard! I'll bring you back from death to death. This one
one.
I'll bring you back from death's abyss.
You
Resuscitate!
see what happened there is you crossed me. Shouldn't have done that.
Here's a healing arm. Take it there.
You're done.
Don't leave me.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Halo. Ada Sophie nggak?
Ada what?
Sophie.
Shopee.
Sophie.
Shopee. Ada kenapa?
Ya nggak apa, lu main dulu ya deh. Kasihan ada yang nonton. Ada yang nonton tuh. Gue. Bapak gue nonton tuh. Ya, mau isiin itu dong tuh. Tolong isiin apa? Pak. Yang paling murah aja.
Apaan?
Isiin Valorant.
Buat.
Hah?
Kenapa lu beli?
Iya.
Tumben.
Kenapa kok lu bingung gitu?
Bisa.
Ada kalambit anjing.
Oh, pesan.
Bangsat, gue menunggu night market. Cuman biasanya kalau udah keluar di situ night market nggak keluar pasti nih. Terus menunggu Balisong, kayak Balisong juga masih lama. Tapi Balisong juga bosen gue liat. Nah terus ternyata masih kurang dikit. Kurang yang 100 poin doang. Nah tadi gue udah beli soalnya 100 poin.
Terus gua
Iya kurang. Ya isiin gue punya kode Asio paling murah. Pakai Shopee Pay aja. Ntar gue balikin duitnya ke lu. Ada diskon 30%. Iya. Enggak buat promo ini doang ya. Kalau gue tadi mau beli yang 400 kan, terus ternyata promo cuma maksimal goceng, cashbacknya ngapain? Gue minta teman-teman gue isiin satu-satu. Ya, terus satu lagi, terus kan beli kan lagi nih. Ntar gue kasihnya lewat ini aja kali ya, lewat Saweria aja kali ya.
Jangan.
Kan lumayan 10.500 buat tambah-nambahin list leaderboard.
Nggak perlu.
Ya udah. Pakai Shopee Pay ya biar ada diskon ya, jauh jangan pakai yang lain ya. Nih gua transferin dulu deh, kalau ini duitnya deh biar kata kita nggak ada utang di antara kita. Atau nggak usah balikin lah itu ban doang sih kecil ya. Temen gua kan kaya nih sekarang.
Bacot.
Iyalah. Gua nggak punya nomor rekening lu ternyata si babi. Gua nggak pernah transfer dulu.
Kenapa? Kayaknya pernah.
Ketika simpen. Oh ada deh. Masih yang lama kan, masih yang binus kan. Ya jadi tuh promonya isi 15.000, cashback 4.500, nih gua transfer 10.500 nih tuh BCA.
Look sharp. Lightning fighter blade.
Ntar kayak ada yang datang deh. Apaan sih anjing nggak lewat-lewat kali ini. Nggak mati-mati nih orang.
Apaan?
Ini nggak mati-mati musuhnya.
Orang bos.
Kan banget anjing.
Bang. Orang bos sih kalau mati cuman bukan bos.
Gua bukan speedrun anjing.
Gak ada yang bilang speedrun sih.
Itu tulisannya konten lu bangke.
Di end is
Speedrun.
near.
Oh
Sayang
iya, iya.
banget. Gameplay nggak ada yang
Mau banget. Besok Jumat ya? Iya nih Jumat.
I'll finish you here and now! Freaking does it! I've let you all down. You'll pay for that!
Can't be happening. Photon blast!
Di anjing lagi berantem tengah-tengah bisa tukar pemain bang.
Salah kalau enggak ngapain punya banyak.
Gak ada cerita di mananya anjir tuh. Cerita gimana, Tai?
Maksud cerita gimana?
Jadi ceritanya lu lagi berpetualang berempat atau ada 2 orang, oke pemain pengganti gitu, prit-prit gitu enggak masuk akal.
Emang dia udah satu party.
Berenam, terus 2 orang di belakang ngapain tuh?
Ya kalau 6-6 berantem dibantai dong, kasihan musuhnya.
Ya bego namanya, kalau bernamanya langsung main.
Kasihan, kegampangan ntar.
Anjing developernya dong. Oh, ini Enderman ya?
Bapak lo Enderman.
Lu bisa pindah-pindah begituan ungu.
Lagi.
Where are you going?
Selesai.
Do it! Astral energy!
Say no more!
Shopee.
Now it's just her! Varia, can you hear me? Varia!
She's preparing another summoning!
Udah gua transfer tadi ya.
The art she's casting is way too
makasih,
powerful to
bye.
control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more.
Barang siapa yang ngambil darimu.
Forgive me.
Dari segala kira Saweri aja bangsat.
Jangan dong. Mana Shopee
Dih.
Games ya?
Bocah tonjok anjir, kasihan amat.
Enggak bocah sih.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Ya,
Yes.
pingsan anjir
She's
ditonjok
only
sekali doang.
unconscious.
Karakter lu yang mana sih?
6-6-nya
Karakter utama yang mana?
yang Amos.
Shion, please.
Terus yang pinggir-pinggir itu ini kayak sidekick gitu ya? Nggak bisa diganti, nggak bisa diubah baju-bajunya.
Bisa.
Oh ini karakternya mukanya lihat tentuin gitu atau dari sana sih?
Enggak, mukanya dari sono.
We're not even
Oh
supposed
mukanya dari
to
sana
be
aja.
here.
Jadi yang hitam gitu.
Maybe it'd be
Iya.
better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer.
Ini
Tapi baju doang bisa ganti.
baju bisa ganti.
In that case,
Valorant yang 125 aja.
take her off your
Gua lagi
hands.
nyari sih.
You?
Kalau
Avakir, what are you
Pak, lu
doing
ketik
here?
Valorant Koda Shop
I was
aja bang,
curious
kayak
what you were up
di
to,
Chrome kan?
so I took the liberty of
Oh, pakai
following
Chrome.
you to find out.
Iya, lu nggak belum di
Overheard
Koda
what
Shop
you
pakai
said
apa
about
aplikasi?
Tornigan, about
Oh,
how he
lewat
really
Koda
died.
Shop. Oke lah,
I'm
Shopee
sorry,
dia.
I had no.
Dungu.
And you
Mana
believed
gua
me?
tahu lu.
Ya udah, sorry.
I like to think I
Sorry,
know
sorry,
you a
sorry.
little better than that, though, Helene. Give me some credit.
Wah itu.
I'll take Faria. Leave her with me.
Gua juga
I know
sisi
better than
dulu.
to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works
Iya,
out.
gua jangan pakai Shopee Pay. Pakai
Thank
apa
you.
ketika itu.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead,
Drago
he was
D-nya
always
gede
hanging back,
8998
worrying
ya.
about everyone else.
Valorant
Ini gua take di Twitch aja kali ya Drago ya.
Closest to me.
125.
Biar orang bisa.
You don't seriously blame
Bapak
yourself for
lu
what
anjing.
happened to her,
Berapa?
do you?
Somebody got to her. Just strike back at
Kayak
me.
lebih dong, tapi
Someone
harga
who knew me
sehari
well
segitu
enough to
aja.
know that I'd
Apaan sih? Lu
hesitate to
suruh gue
fight
yang mana
back.
sih?
And
Ya
the same
125 aja
goes
dah
for you
cukup.
as well. Neither
125
you
aja.
nor Faria would have lost loved
Bayar
ones
cukup.
Bayarnya pakai Shopee.
if it wasn't
Ya.
for me.
Kalau mau kasih lebih nggak apa-apa,
You're wrong.
tapi duitnya nggak gue transfer lagi.
Kalzalik was the one who
Biji kuda.
killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnagan, if it weren't for the crown
Tuh, ada orang
contest, he'd
ketiga
still be alive. That and the
Hello.
whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're
Dari
fighting.
nonton 3
To put
orang.
an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed.
Shopee Pay.
Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how
Berapa
to
sih
atone
jadinya
for
itu?
my sins.
You can't
Apaan?
atone,
Tadi berapa
Dohalim.
totalnya?
I
10.500.
know it hurts to hear.
Bener kan?
Those
Ada
people
cashback
are
kan?
dead.
Nggak tahu.
No amount of soul searching or trying to
Sorry,
make
jangan tahu,
amends is
jangan
going to
bayar.
change that.
Lu udah sampai mana sih?
Forgiveness,
Udah
acceptance,
pecat.
those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm
Beli
I
sekarang kan?
caused?
No, the opposite, in fact.
Beli sekarang.
You remember.
Kan beli
You
sekarang.
never forget.
Drago.
You keep it in your heart
Stack.
always. And then you go on
8,
living.
9, 98. D-nya gede,
Not
D-nya
for those
gede.
already passed, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
105 poin bayar pakai
Kisara's
Shopee.
So
Beli
long as we've still
sekarang.
got breath in our bodies, we can
Kan
make
ada
a
confirm
difference
tuh,
in the lives of
confirm.
others.
Udah bisa nggak bisa?
Lives
Udah
being
HP.
the operative word.
Memang.
That's what living's all about. Being
Eh.
able to still make a difference.
Kemarin lu beliin gue dari mana tuh?
Punishing yourself for the past
Dari
won't make the pain of your conscience go
apa
away.
yang biasa gue lupa namanya.
Only fixing the problem
Mr.
and
Digital.
instead.
Sejuta.
Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Gue kira dari
You
Valo,
have to
dari
live for
Koda Shop
tomorrow,
juga.
Dohalim. Not for yesterday.
Bisa diskonnya lebih.
And not only
kayaknya
that,
banyak.
You
Lumayan
need to
banyak
live
lagi.
for yourself
Lu mau gue
and for
kasih
the
tau nggak?
change that you still
Waktu
can
lu beliin
be.
gue tuh Koda Shop lagi ada promo, ada
shall
plus
try.
Valorant point lagi.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve.
Candel.
The Forbidden Zone,
Iya,
remember?
iya, buat gue juga ya padahal ya, bukan buat lu ya, goblok ya.
Candel.
Ya,
Thank you.
bodo amat, nggak apa-apa
You
kok.
have my deepest
Gua orangnya
gratitude for what you
nerima.
did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on
Udah
the
masuk.
same team, right?
Belum.
Let's move on.
Gue ngisi dulu beli. Shopee.
Ya, bebek telepon. Ya udah, kalau udah ini ya, bentar ya.
Mana bentar? 15.000 doang. Tetap 15.000. Voucher. Voucher yang dapat gudang kosong. Harus pakai Shopee Lost. Halo WH. WH. Oi. Oi. Oi WH. Oh. Harus bayarnya harus pilih Shopee Pay baru dikurangin. Oh, cashback. Nggak jadi.
Ya, meledaknya lah. Takut tembak pipe, izin gua habis. Ngoblok deh.
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone here in Lenegis is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find whoever it is, fast.
Shopee. Udah. Yo. Ayo juga jalan.
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her, it reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure!
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of.
Sakit banget.
And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
That vision we saw, it was as if it was meant specifically for us.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dana might be involved somehow?
Maybe it's trying to tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave, ghost-type stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact
udah
for
habis, yang buat
300
main ketan.
years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent.
Yang bumbu-bumbu itu. enak. Ketan. Ya. Ketan juga enak, nggak sekelas beli. Nasinya. Iya. Makan 3.
Soon, you might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns, as well as my own past. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens. I just need a
Bos. Last boss ini. I think this is the last boss.
We've reached our destination.
This flavor, why it rivals the cooking of my own shit.
Mabok kali dun. Bala. Nggak punya duitnya kayaknya. Oh, iya. Punya deh. Dikit.
You can never be too prepared, but did we have to spend so much?
Nggak ada tempe apa? Ada. Oh, ini apa ya? Oh. Go. I'm out.
Our way.
Now you'll learn.
Freaking does it. Pull that. Wing astral energy. The wise warrior knows when to call it quits.
Goblok. Ada ginian ternyata.
Ya, pues aku mati juga. Kau dapat koyamu.
Nah, stay. Let's go.
Soon, I have to be ready to face any. I'm determined to save Shia. Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
The fuck am I attack?
For the people of Lenegis, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of dreams. Yet here I am, standing within its hallowed halls.
It's off limits even for lords, then? Talk about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How do they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Did no one ever talk about it when you were growing up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, Sovereigns and Forbidden Zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority, grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renans. That is what we believed this place to be. No, what we were made to believe it was. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long. I think I can make this work.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records, by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Danon astral energy, so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure, taking the form of a Danon. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign?
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the Master Cores. With all this raw data, There's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait. I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
Hello.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the Sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a Sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can while we're here.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign, and Volron as well. The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, It looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Only 2 sovereigns in over 300 years. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all.
Gila,
I
ada
knew
yang
what I
naik
was
ya,
already.
dari top.
So it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah, we wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Thank you, everyone. I think I'll be okay now.
Banyak ya kota lainnya.
Naori,
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Rena never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
Naori...
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system.
I see.
But... If I don't head back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes. And this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try.
Terutama bayangan lo bisa counter spell.
I hope it's enough.
Hah?
Please, live for me, Alphen.
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me, and made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
Wait, what? Heavy.
This place. We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
Of course. After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channeling ceremony. This is where the Renis Alma was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
The Renis Alma isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
Naori.
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening.
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me. But it was too late. Lenegis had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done. With the destructive force now slumbering inside of me, I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy itself. In which case, ironically enough, the Renis Alma seemed to be my best bet. That, at least, would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third party got to it first. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renis Alma instead. That's what I hoped, but alas, it was not to be. The Renis Alma was lost, and Alphen the Sovereign was in a starship bound for Dana. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden. To buy the world what little time I could. The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted. And for a new Sovereign to appear. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse onto my descendants as well. Please, forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too. I only wish that there was something more I could have done.
Wait, you can't just...
Siat lu apa ya? Gua lupa.
Naori.
Siat lu.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the Danon voice speaking through her?
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the Maiden's outfit?
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Xion, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your thorns. Xion.
It's possible? You really think so?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure the same thing won't happen again. We should take care not to be too
Jauh
optimistic.
amat.
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work, I'm willing to stake everything I've got on it.
Jauh amat pantesan.
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but I just can't seem to help it. Just hearing there's the slightest chance, even though I know the world's still in great peril. It's selfish of me, I know, but still.
Hah?
No, it isn't. You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Bisa ikut
Grinwell's
fight.
right. We can rid you of your curse and still save the world at the same time.
Thank you.
Buat ambil
Aori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity. Now, it's up to us to prove that trust was well placed.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renus Alma.
Mikir lah.
Yeah, we've come all this way. Now we just need to search Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
Yeah, we can protect the world and save Shion at the same
Cuma lebih lama
time.
aja dari
I
mantan
too
itu.
shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renan lore is bound to be a useful asset.
And they say modesty is dead.
Emang nggak bisa ngapain? Kata mantai juga masih nggak bisa ngapa-ngapain kata kamu.
Miracles just seem to follow wherever you go, huh?
How do you know it's me they're following? We're all in this together, Shion. You included. Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop. Thank you, Naori. So Naori sealed away the power that made me lose control of myself. But then, that power she'd sealed away was passed down to you. I'm so sorry, Shion. It's my fault that you're cursed.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony, and Naori's attempt to stop Oblivion. You paid a heavy price for it, and then fell asleep for 300 years. The reason you lost your memories
Is the reason for your curse.
the thorns.
It all leads back to them. But once they're gone, we can finally put an end to all this.
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No, the truth is, I think maybe I've always been dreaming about a life without my thorns. The touch of my family, or playing with my friends, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved smack, embracing everyone. All the normal things that people do together. I always wished I could experience them for myself, and finally know what they were like. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen? I'm so scared of getting my hopes up. What if it doesn't work out in the end, and...
That's not going to happen. I'm here to make sure it won't. Forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot of things you still want to do, right?
Yeah.
Bosannya udah berapa lama?
You're right. It's such a strange feeling. I know that we've still got plenty of fighting up ahead, and it's for my sake. So I can live.
You're worth fighting for.
I believe you, Alphen.
Good. I'll keep on fighting. For as long as it takes, until our future is finally in our hands.
Now what? That outfit?
Sounds like this Naori chick had quite the big heart.
Her position demanded nothing less. From the sound of things, she didn't focus on differences, least of all those between Renans and Danans.
Yeah. It was Naori who first showed me that such a thing was even possible. And then she saved my life by sending me back home to Dana.
Not only that, but she willingly stayed behind on Lenegis for the sake of her people. It sounds like she was quite the hero, all right. A truly caring person.
It's as if walls meant nothing to her. The ones separating the Renans from the Danans, or herself from others. She had no need for them.
Which basically meant that she never had anything to break down in the first place, huh? Yeah. I think you may be right about that.
You inherited that legacy. Her wish for the world.
Don't know it.
She's kind of like a lodestar guiding our way, showing us what we can aspire to.
Kata ini maksudnya skill 3. Kata ini maksudnya skill 3. Atau Thompson maksudnya skill 3 dulu yang lain. Buat farming nggak tahu. Nggak tahu buat farming. Skill 2 nggak diambil. Oh, satu doang sampai berapa? Limit. Nggak bisa bunuhnya susah. Masih bisa bunuh sama. Gila, itu udah berapa lama? Setengah jam nonton cerita.
That's quite some door, all right. This might finally be it. The heart of the beast.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better be.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us, Sovereign.
Go for it, Alphen.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secrets are in store.
Baru.
We're a long way from the residential quarters now. It looks completely different.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, this place... it reminds me more of being back inside the wedge.
Except the Danan astral energy feels even stronger here.
In a portion of the city reserved purely for the Renin Sovereign.
Maybe he just has strange tastes?
This place looks like it has been here for quite some time now. If its design were a matter of personal preference, we would be talking from centuries ago. Or perhaps even further back. Still, this isn't the sort of decadence of taste spoken of in artistic circles. So what is it then?
Hold up, decadence? Artistic circles?
When a preference is indulged to its extreme...
That depends. Does it involve you buying me lunch?
The void that art fills isn't the stomach, it's the soul.
In that case, I'll let you know the next time my soul starts to rumble.
Now all we need is something to fill up the void inside your head.
Shut up!
Atlas, bos. Jangan setengah jam cerita yang bego.
Volron! He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma. Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait, though. Something doesn't seem right here.
Once more, the powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Renna, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself, reduced to a mere cog in the machine.
Hey, look! Over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the Maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but... Are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dana.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renaissance. Because right now, we need that most of all.
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Alphen, look!
The Red Woman! So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
They all have the same face? How is that even possible? What is this?
Who the hell are they?
It can't... Are they even people?
It's hard to know for sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
Lawan 3. Tolong aja.
They're not
Kalau lawan 5 gue
feeling particularly talkative.
It's no use, Alphen. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting ducks here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand.
You're mine! I own death!
Try harder! Not a chance! Here I come!
That's freaking done,
Dragon Swarm!
Swallow dance! I'll finish you here!
You're mine! Don't give up! Waterfall! Freeze Lancer! I'll bring you back from Death's Abyss! Resuscitation!
Swallow dance!
Searing Blade! Thunderblade!
Dragon Swarm!
Armor won't save you! I'm just getting started!
I'm not done!
All is on Come forth, a healing
Dragon
Fury!
Swarm!
Dragon
Here's
Try
a healing
harder!
arm!
My turn!
Dragon tail! Now I'm in
Dragon
the
Swarm!
Here!
Sword Rain Alpha!
I'm out of
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
I'm all stopped up!
I'm on! Here I come!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Eagle God!
Try harder! This one's all mine!
I'm on it!
Sword Rain Alpha!
I'll run you through!
Eat dirt!
I'll tear you apart!
Dragon Swarm!
Tectonic Spark!
Explosive Ring!
Super Swallow Dance!
You're mine! I'm not
Take this!
You're mine! Sword Rain Alpha! No escape! Dragon Swarm!
Super Swallow
I'll bring you
Dance!
down!
Talon Storm!
I'll heal you all! In the wind! Air thrust! Healing astral
I owe you
energy! Here I go! Light astral energy! Lightning condemned!
Dragon Swarm! Dragon Swarm!
Healing circle!
In a bind?
Try harder!
I'm grateful.
By the power of God's malevolence!
Armor won't save you! They smite with
Sword Rain Alpha!
a new melody!
I'll be leading this way!
Calamity! Barrier!
I owe you one.
Heal my weary companion!
Dragon Swarm!
Heal my weary companion!
Explosive Ring!
More where that came from! Corruption!
Ignite!
On your knees!
By the power of
Dragon
water!
Swarm!
Now we're locked and ready!
I couldn't make it in time.
There! Try harder!
Here, let me help! be saving this one. Magic is there.
Here I come. Eat dirt. Eating pile driver. You're finished. Can't move.
Don't leave me.
Take this. Rending you apart. Bloody dragon form.
Rain down.
Dragon form. Here.
Wow. Dead again.
Power of water here.
This is
Here's a healing arc. First aid. Just what I need. Resuscitation.
breath of life. Feel my weary companion.
Cure. Field.
Take this. Imbue this vanquished soul with life. See what I can do.
Mega ray.
Resuscitation.
I still got the silent handle this.
Can't get out of this!
Burning.
From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with life. Resuscitation. Who's being interrupted? You're mine! Eat dirt!
Here's a healing arc.
Here I come!
First aid.
Dragon form!
Didn't be right.
Anything in order is all mine!
Lightning. Downfall. Back to the future.
Rending you apart! Bloody howling! Can't move!
Wow.
Forgive me. This is my fault.
Will this help?
Prepare to be
Where are you
sealed.
going?
I can carve through armor!
More where that came
Heal!
from.
Take this!
Lunar
Dragon swarm! You're mine!
Here's the healing arc.
Dragon swarm!
Thunder aid.
Burn up! Everlasting darkness!
Will roar.
Negative dragon swarm! No further! Dragon swarm!
I'll be saving this
Heal!
one.
Take this!
Radiant
Moon escape!
One more. Loud, loud, loud.
I'm not!
Lunar Caribbean Lancer.
Dragon swarm! Burn! Dragon swarm! On your knees!
Mega ray.
Sword Rain Alpha! Raising you up! I owe you one! Bloody hell!
Dari mana coba?
Hear my call.
You'll pay for that!
Freeze Lancer. I'll bring you back from death's abyss. If it's in the sky, it's mine.
Dragon swarm!
Raging cascade. Flame. Reload.
I can carve through armor!
I'm out of ammo.
Denied! Sword Rain! It's too much!
Burning
Try harder! It's on! You're mine! Dragon swarm!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Mega ray!
Oh,
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
no.
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
What?
It self-destructed?
Alphen!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Who said you could touch that?
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much. So you know this place? Naturally. It was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart. Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me? You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alphen, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and a sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with the designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah.
Shit, kencing dulu bentar.
Sini cuma nakutin gitu. Awas mereka ngomong. Perawat. Skill 3 ya buat fun, gak bisa cabut soalnya.
There were countless.
Ha!
And every one of them besides me died.
Ha!
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were locked 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean Voron was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a...
A slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right? Volron.
So he posed as a Renin and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renin and Dana have meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
Halo.
Hah?
Hah? Oh,
Halo, kenapa?
halo. Udah belum?
Ya.
A red woman.
Makasih ya Om. Duitnya udah masuk Om.
Give your master back on Rena this message.
Aku jadi bisa beli karambit nih Om.
Let them know
Besok
I'll
kita
make
main
them
lagi Om.
suffer.
Oh iya.
Hah?
Kalau nggak Hanson ingin main masih ajak tuh.
Apa?
Kalau Hanson mau ikut main ajak tuh.
Hanson?
Iya, Tovan.
Ya. Kok bisa tiba-tiba ngomong Hanson?
Iya, kemarin dia manggil gua.
Kok bisa tiba-tiba manggil lu?
Kadang-kadang.
Oh.
Ya, main Valorant-nya main. Jadi minta itu.
Terus dia ajak main.
Diskon juga. Sih, habis itu ya. Tadi dia ajak main, cuman gue link main ini. Kalau nanti pas bisa main, besok kita main game lagi gimana? Kita jaga.
Nggak apa-apa. Kenapa?
Diskon? Ada diskon gak?
Nggak, jadi gue punya menemukan sebuah sistem gini. Kita sistem seleksi ya namanya. Jadi kita ngecek siapa yang pantas. Ya masuk aja sih bangke. Ya cuman kayaknya si Chris harus kasih admin ke kita tuh. Mendingan mulai sekarang. Jangan dia doang yang pegang.
Tanya kalau kemarin gue udah ngomong.
Bentar. Gue mau sombong dikit nih.
Amit. Jangan sombong sekarang, sombongnya besok.
Kan ada lu doang, kan lu udah tahu gue beli. Nggak apa-apa.
Lu kirim foto.
Nah nih, nggak usah nih, lihat streaming gue aja nih. Kan lagi main, bisa tembak-tembak nih gitu kan. Kan tembak-tembak nih. Lihat dong. Ya dong. Ntar gue nonton Twitch lu. Udah kan nih. Langsung.
Lah kok nggak? Oh emang gitu ya.
Kenapa? Nggak nyala lampu-lampunya? Gue nggak upgrade.
But no, I will be your shadow.
Kalau di upgrade jadi flip knife jelek.
Iya, gue mikir kok nggak di lip.
Let's go.
Oh,
Iya, karena gue belum upgrade.
Bagusan putar.
Bagusan puter kan? Iya, soalnya orang pada bilang gitu, kayak orang pada kecewa. Ampas katanya apa karambitnya kalau lu upgrade. Anjir. Tai banget gak sih?
Are you two okay?
Tuh, yoi. Yoi.
Apa sih? Udah
Udah.
keluar.
Ya udah sana keluar. Udah cukup, makasih lihat.
Those red women. What the heck was their deal?
Ya agak sampah sih memang. Makanya teman gue juga bilang, lu kalau mau beli karambit nggak usah upgrade. Katanya kalau upgrade lebih jelek, nggak diputer soalnya. Jadi kayak pocket knife kan, kayak ceklik gitu doang kan. Ya kan? Iya, kata temen gue juga bilang gitu. Katanya kalau lu upgrade lu malah ampas jelek katanya. Bagusan begini. Terus ya udah. Jadi gue kagak upgrade. Yang upgrade pada nyesel katanya. Nggak bisa. Nah itu hitungannya upgrade, bukan beli gerakan.
That's what's really behind all this, huh?
Kemarin tadi tuh gue pagi-pagi kan gue buka shop. Gue dari kemarin lagi sering-sering buka shop kan. Mau lihat pisau. Ada Oni Cloud, tapi Oni Cloud kan jelek, cuman Wong gitu doang kan. Gue tuh galau dari kemarin tuh antara karambit atau mau Balisong. Balisong itu yang rekon kemarin loh, butterfly knife. Terus itu temen tau keluarnya karambit. Kan jadi pengen ya. Ya udah. Tapi ya gini jelek karambit. Nggak bisa di-upgrade, nggak boleh di-upgrade. Padahal keren ya nyala-nyala ya soalnya.
I'm not even sure
Keren ya,
Lenegis would
cuman
get
gitu
through to
jadinya
that.
kagak boleh di-upgrade. Kalau upgrade jadi ntar
So
pocket
what
nah
were they
jadinya.
then? Human Zoogle hybrids?
Is the most terrifying thing anyone said all day?
How about you, Shion? Doily? You
Ya
ever seen
jeleknya
anything like
gitu,
that before?
gue dari kemarin, gue pikir pengen nunggu balisong
They're the
kan.
same as the red woman
Tapi
we've
kata
seen with
temen gue
Volva.
kalau udah
I think it's
keluar
safe for us to assume
di
they
sini
understand
jarang
our
keluar
language
lagi
at the very
di night
least.
market.
I had just so
Udah
much
gue
I wanted to
sikat
ask
deh, gue
them
beli.
about Rena and
Gue belinya
Shion's
biar karena gue
stories.
pelit.
Unfortunately, they blew
Ya
themselves
udah.
up before we got the chance.
Gue minta teman-teman gue buat
Why would they
iniin.
do such a thing, though? To take us
Buat
with them?
apa? Buat iniin
Or in
satu-satu.
order to keep something hidden?
Both sound plausible to my ears. They took off with the Renaissance too, remember?
Yeah, they
Terus
did.
baru keluarin aja.
And next time we meet them, we're going to
Eh,
make sure
liatin layar gue ya.
every-
Iya, nah, jangan lu jangan kasih tau kalau misalnya
Ya, nggak, udah.
Gituin aja. Oh.
Mana suaranya nih orang?
Siapa?
Tuh si Chris.
Emang ada di sini?
Masuk.
Nggak ada.
Oh, nggak ada ya.
Streaming nggak bunyi.
Keluar lagi suaranya di stream Excel.
Kalau
Hah?
apa lo? Kalau lo mah keluar.
I'm begging you. Biar kena copyright.
Jamet kudasi.
Jamet kudasi. Jamet tuh tak pakai dasi.
Oh my guys.
Araraki mochi. Araraki mochi. Ayo main sama Hanson, ayo.
Oke, peci.
Mau nggak main sama Hanson?
Ya, nggak usah, nggak. Gue cuma numpang doang sini.
Ya.
Besok gue ujian Inggris.
Ujian, ya elah ujian Inggris anjing.
Lagi main tuh.
Kenapa emangnya? Hah? Spike Rush boleh deh.
Nggak mau ya kompe.
Bangsat.
Nah,
Besok
udah,
kalau
bisa
gua
kompeng nggak tahu
gua-
boleh sama itu.
Gue bukannya takut besok kagak ini apa nggak bisa bahasa Inggris, yang gue takut besok kagak bangun.
Bagus.
Ngantuk gue baca readingnya anjir. Udah lama kita kagak baca reading, Cok.
Baru setengah 10.
Ah, tahu bos susu.
Kamu sekarang buruan ayo.
Method ya.
Panggil.
Atau kompeng.
Ya udah buruan panggil, kamu panggil anjing.
Ya udah.
Ya tapi nggak jadi besok dong salah. Ya berarti besok aja. Bawa susu.
Siapa tahu lebih baik.
Apa?
Gua save nih.
Ya udah besok aja berlima.
Ah,
Ya gitu dong teman, itu baru teman namanya. Udah besok aja ya.
dewa gua.
Jangan ngambek ya, jangan ngambek
Susu
dong deh.
emang. Minum susu pasti.
Hah?
Bos susu emang. Pusi.
Ya elah kenapa sih ngambek mulu?
Iya
Masih ada
anjir,
hari
tadi
esok.
Tego sepedaan 3,7 kilo anjir, jauh juga.
Pada kemarin deh.
Enggak, sekarang hari ini juga.
Biasa sel, anak sepedaan sekarang.
Yoi.
Tunggu aja.
Tunggu aja nanti juga bosen.
Nanti juga tahu ada yang foto Tokped jual sepeda gitu kan.
When did it get pitch dark all of a
Apa-apa,
sudden?
balik
The
dulu.
lights are all out.
Ya benar.
Think it
Nggak
has
ada
something to do with
nggak ada yang
the
bilang salah.
explosion back in the Forbidden Zone? Joe?
You two.
Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About
Yeah.
how I ambushed you all.
She doesn't remember a thing.
Dadah.
So she really was
Kenapa?
being controlled.
Udah gitu.
Lah,
Kan udah.
katanya udah.
He told me about
Oh enggak,
Tarnigan
gue
too.
udah cabut dari Valorannya.
What
Oh,
difference does it
kan
make?
lu mau main
What's
sebenarnya
done is
kan?
Stop capturing
Jujur
me all,
pengen.
just for once.
Faria, not now. It
Tapi
can wait. Dohalim, Lenegis is in grave peril. It's the city's core
Sulit.
reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've
Gua
managed
masih
to keep
budak
online,
rakyat
but
nih.
complete restoration
Lu
still way off.
lu
You're
tau
an
yang ini
elite
nggak? Ini lucu
technician,
anjing.
You
Kemarin
can
gue
fix
nemu di
it, right?
TikTok banget.
If
Lucu banget.
so, then what's the
Hah?
problem?
Lucu banget.
Ngentot memang.
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now,
Lucu anjing.
whenever something like this happened, the
lucu
sovereign would
banget.
issue a decree. But
Ah,
this time,
ini
not
gue
so much
share
as a
ke WA
peep.
nih.
Any longer, and we run the risk of riots breaking out
Ayo.
before we can get things back up and
Kenapa
running.
di WA?
Forget the sovereign.
Karena gak
Doubt
punya
you'll be
TikTok,
hearing
gue
from
gak
him
follow lu,
anytime
babi.
What's that supposed to mean?
Follow
Do
gue
you know
dong.
something I don't?
Iya bener juga,
Suffice it
pintar
to
lu.
say, the sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Apa nama lu sih? Haha, stres ya?
Iya.
Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such
Banyak kok
blasphemy,
konten gue
There's no
lumayan.
time to
Cuman ya
explain
gitu
now.
lah.
It sounds
Ya
like we
Tuhan,
need to find a way to keep Lenegis
hamba
from
tahu
spiraling out of
harta
control.
adalah titipan darimu.
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Wait,
Riots
how
feed
to
on
win
discontent
against
and
Ricky
unrest,
Maru?
right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
At ease.
Lucu kan?
Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust.
Big Viper.
That's it.
Cacat
Who's the
aja.
highest ranking person in Lenegis right now?
Lenegis wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the sovereign rules over everyone directly.
Get first
right?
blood. Lu kenapa yang baca ininya begitu
Closest
sih?
thing to an authority figure would be a lord.
Gak ada yang kayak orang-orang gitu pakai Google gitu. Apa sih aja cempreng banget. Kalau gue lihat
lucu.
Iya, kesel
You
anjing lihat
mentioned a few
deh.
facilities were still
Ini
online.
konten-konten
Which
TikTok tuh
ones?
kayak gini tai gini lihatnya.
Part 2.
Why hasn't the sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going
Kok nggak ada suara-suara kita sih?
Is it over? What's going to
Ada.
happen to all of us?
Soalnya biasa kadang terlalu
Ambil punya orang lagi karena saya tidak punya drone. Weh, nggak ngetek punya orang lagi. Gila lu ya. Nggak punya, nggak.
lupa gua.
Wah bangsat, wah shit nih bagus yang ini. Gue like yang ini, bagus.
Yang mana?
Lihat aja sendiri lah. Yoi, when the enemy say you noob. Tell them. Tell them. Kita pakai mother. International. Ini lucu aja. Ini post kapan anjir? Kok gue nggak tahu ada gini.
Udah lama. Gua nge-post di YouTube juga.
You better go and tell them.
Tapi susah kalau dapat view di TikTok. Lebih gampang dapat view di TikTok sih sebenarnya sih.
Ya, TikTok lebih random. Oh, kalau di YouTube susah.
YouTube susah.
Gue udah nemu tuh cara live streaming lu dilihat orang di YouTube tuh. Tapi susah nih.
Live streaming di YouTube.
Iya, kalau banyak penontonnya, ternyata lu nggak bakal ada penonton aja kalau di YouTube.
Emang iya.
Kalau konten, kalau lu nggak ada upload video yang biasa, soalnya algoritmanya kan makin sering nontonin channel itu ntar dia keluar live-nya baru. Gitu. Gila gue jago ya sekarang.
Udah siap lah.
Besok gue live di TikTok aja kayaknya deh, cara HP. Ya halo.
TikTok rame sumpah.
Tapi cara valorannya gimana?
Bisa ada caranya.
Third party.
Enggak tahu deh third party atau enggak. Tepan setahu gue waktu itu gue pernah lihat di mana?
Di mana?
Dia ada kayak jadi URL gitu. Jadi nanti lu streaming stream live lu nanti masukinnya URL itu. Nanti dari URL itu dia langsung connect ke TikTok, lu live ke TikTok gitu. Jadi lu bukan streamingnya udah bukan di Twitch, YouTube lagi tapi dari URL itu. Nanti dikasih dari setahu gua di aplikasi TikToknya deh.
Ini kapan lu dapet S? Yang paling baru. Oh, yang kemarin dia cari videonya itu yang sampai goblok ya, sampai buka Valorant ulang ya.
Iya.
After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone,
Kayak gue ada ya, tapi gue yang pakai ghost speller abis ya. Ntar deh upload di TikTok.
TikTok lumayan view-nya, cuman kadang kalau dia tuh lebih banyak view kalau misalkan yang lo nonton lu like. Jadi kalau yang gue baca waktu itu sempat gue baca algoritmanya tuh, jadi dia pertama kali dia kasih ke 100 orang atau 1000 orang gitu. Nah kalau misalkan banyak yang nonton dan banyak yang like, dia baru kirim lagi ke 1000 orang berikutnya gitu.
I have business I must take care of first.
Nah, tapi ntar gue pakai meme yang gitu ya. Yang
I
you
shall
better
return.
tell them.
But
Lucu
not as your
anjing,
sovereign,
sumpah.
nor as a leader
Tapi
of the
gue
likes of which
kadang-kadang
the people
nontonin
here
orang
are
punya
used to,
tuh
I think.
nggak lucu anjir.
Iya.
Kayak ya
How
udah
else do you
gitu.
propose to rule?
Ya kadang emang punya sendiri lebih lucu karena kita belum
I'm
ngerti
not
gitu.
sure yet. All I have is a
Iya,
feeling
emang gitu kok.
Bener.
that here in Lenegis, a new
Justru itulah
dawn is
awal
on the
dari
verge of
kesuksesan.
breaking.
Mencintai
One in
karya
which people
sendiri
won't be
dulu.
judged by birthright or on the
Mencintai
power of
dia
their
sendiri
afterlives.
baru bisa
Mencintai
mencintai
karya.
orang lain.
Ayo
More
dong,
important
yo
things,
dong.
things like
Ame tare, ayo gitu
musical
kan.
talent, for example.
Jadi sebelum cinta orang lain.
Enggak. Biasa sekarang lagi ngetren tuh yang apa? Yang apa? Gue lupa tuh. Yang ting terus dia kan, halo Dit, kita main Valorant lagi yuk, gitu.
Oh kata, yang itu apa? Aku ada skin baru keluar gitu kan?
Iya ada skin baru keluar.
Nggak apa, aku isiin dulu aja. Nggak apa-apa nih, aku nggak enak gitu kan?
Oh yaudah, aku enggak bukan. Oh yaudah, nanti kalau udah kasih tahu aja ya, dia bilang gitu ya kalau nggak salah atau apa gitu. Coba ada yang satu lagi tuh yang dia teleponan sama cewek. Lu masih ingat gak sih kita dulu suka main Valorant bla 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 bla. Udah dulu ya, gue main dulu sama cowok gue. Terus Amit
Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders
ada
that
aja
much
ini
faster.
konten TikTok sumpah.
Sounds like you're
Oke,
in
ntar
for
gue
the
bikin
long
lah.
haul.
Oke,
How
saya
could
sudah
I not
mulai
be?
niat
After the
menghilangkan
second chance that I've
pekerjaan
been
ini.
granted. From
Nggak
this day
apa-apa,
forth,
lu
I shall
kan
dedicate
udah
myself to the
investasi
future
rumah.
inhabitants of this
Iya.
world, though the memories of the
Bajingan emang.
departed shall remain forever in my
Kenapa?
heart.
Iya,
Remember,
duit gue habis
you're
buat
going to
beli
be
rumah.
leading the people here.
Nggak apa-apa,
not
nanti kan lu
ruling
jadi
them.
nggak pusing cari rumah.
True enough.
Iya, gue bilang ya.
Whatever would I
Ntar pas
do
gue
without
kesel
you,
nih, gue kabur dari rumah, gue tau
With or
kemana nih.
without her, I suspect
Rumah.
you're gonna have your
Di
hands
rumah gue
full
sendiri kan. Gue gak perlu cari rumah orang lain kan buat kabur kan.
You should be heading back to the
Yoi.
ship. Business on Rena awaits.
Lu kabur dari rumah kemana? Rumah gue sendiri anjay.
Itu gak ada make sense anjing.
Itu namanya lu nggak kabur anjing, itu namanya lu pindah.
Ntar besok kita, lu tau konten itu nggak yang apa orang berdiri di atas tanah terus pas lompat rumah jadi gitu kan?
Emang iya ada ya?
Ada anjing. Ya lu tontonannya ini sih humor semua ya. Lu cari yang membangun dong.
Ada tau gak sih yang itu?
Mana ya?
Yang ada orang hitam
In one sense,
suka gitu
when all
aja.
is said and done,
Gue
perhaps
lupa
I have been a
tapi
slave
kayak ada
this
satu
whole
itu
time
aja.
too.
Itu jarang.
Dia suka apa
I was complicit in the Renan
gue
system.
lupa ngejokesnya tapi yang receh gitu loh.
All I longed for was
Kayak
punishment,
misalkan
the Lord.
apa?
And yet my first...
Kayak
How long have you
how do you make holy water gitu kan? You boil the hell out of it. Dia ngomong gitu anjing, tolol banget. Terus kayak dia suka ngomong gitu.
Oh, ketawa. Oh, oke, gue tahu yang ketawanya kayak
Iya.
gitu deh. Ya, yang ketawanya itu ketawanya.
Tapi kadang-kadang biasanya dia mulainya gitu dulu anjing. Oh enggak, yang itu tuh gue suka nontonin yang King of Crunch, tau nggak?
Nggak tahu gue.
Jadi viewernya kasih tahu dia makan apa hari ini, kayak misalkan coba seharian ini lo makan makanan di Disneyland, nanti dia ke Disneyland makan makanan Disneyland. Anjing. Keren lah,
Kontennya tai banget.
keren lah, baik duit.
Itu Sel, di konten Sel.
Nanti gitu kan. Kak, pergi dong ke Jepang terus gitu. Terus lagi pegang tiket apa? Damn, what you got smiling? Apa? Damn,
Who got to smile like that?
who got you smiling like that? Naik pesawat. Keren anjing.
Aduh, seandainya semudah itu.
Tetep aja temen lu mah nggak ngerti pasti.
Culun lu anjing, download TikTok lah. Download TikTok lah.
Kan lah itu konten yang lagi dipakai sekarang tuh itu.
Lu pengen jadi streamer tapi nggak tahu yang terbaru gimana caranya.
Gua sekarang nyariin lagu dari TikTok anjir.
Iya, lu gimana caranya sama jadi Twitch streamer kalau kayak gitu terus?
Life goes on and on
I thought
and.
we'd find answers from Lenegis, but we just ended up finding more
Sumpah
questions.
banyak lagu
You can say
TikTok
that
yang
again.
bagus-bagus anjir.
And now we have more problems to fix.
Kayak lagu
Someone wrote this
Figuring out how
song
to
before.
reform
Hero tuh Hero.
We've got more than enough
Hero
on our
yang
plates to deal
lagu
with as it
lama kan?
is. Like figuring out who's really running the show on Renna.
Siapa sih namanya?
Yeah.
Kesha ya? Atau siapa sih?
Which is why we're going to the
Gua
Renan
lupa.
homeworld.
All
nih,
the
cek
answers
apa?
we've been
Black
looking
Hero
for are
Kesha.
on that planet.
Kesha
The
tuh.
person responsible for all this.
Iya, udah
the Red
selesai
Women
kan? Udah stop.
And the
di
Renna
situ.
Selma.
Ah, dia udah stop juga.
The answers have to be there.
Sama
Di-
gara kena take down juga.
Be prepared
Kena
Oh,
take down
iya.
sama
Iya.
YouTube.
So,
Ya,
what do we do first when we
kemarin
get there?
dia kena itu.
We know nothing
Soalnya
about the Renan
dia
homeworld or
kalau
what we might
ngeplay
face
lagu
once
kagak
we
nambah
arrive.
ads.
We should get a feel for
Ya,
how
nggak
things
jadi
are on the
ads
ground
ya,
before we
rugi
take any
makanya
serious
YouTube-nya.
steps.
Nggak
It's
take
also
down.
entirely possible that
Tai,
the
baru
first thing we're
kemarin
going
itu.
to face
Cari
is
bot
an
lagi.
attack.
If we come
Udah nggak
across
ada.
Capital, we should. What?
Anjing jelek banget jadi Discord tadi. Kalau nggak ada lagu tuh kayak
Kita juga jarang sih.
ini
Coba-
lumayan kan?
Coba nanti Discord collab gitu kan sama apa?
YouTube.
Bukan YouTube lah, Spotify. Oh iya.
Oh iya Spotify. Tapi ya sih, ya lu bayangin aja kalau YouTube masuk ke Discord ya. Kita bisa mau play lagu apa ya? Atau ada iklan dulu anjing.
What? Sorry, premium.
YouTube premium banget. Iya
Sorry,
anjir kalau
saya premium.
Oh, lu
Tapi-
pakai itu ya, yang ada ini ya, gue tahu tuh.
Apaan?
Ada kan yang YouTube ini.
YouTube premium. Kenapa?
Ya pakai APK kan?
Enggak. Gue bayar per bulan.
Iya anjing.
Tapi sumpah lu kalau udah pakai YouTube premium, wah lu kalau habis nonton pakai YouTube biasa kayak anjing, sumpah cacat bet anjir.
Apa iklan?
Emang sih, gua kadang malas di YouTube iklannya. Temen gua nemu APK katanya tuh dari developer YouTube juga. Jadi ada orang iseng lah bikin ininya.
Jadi nggak bisa kena itu ya.
Iya, YouTube Premium, tapi ya ada orang ininya, ada orang dalamnya lah bikin APK-nya katanya. Gitu katanya. Wah, ada, cuma gua kagak coba sih. Ntar lah, gua ada.
Kalau mau beli yang family murah.
Apaan aja Spotify udah family, masa
Are they trying to
YouTube
finish
udah
us
family
off
lagi
before we
aja.
can land?
Emang lu juga family sih yang
Spotify lah. Iyalah, lu baru Spotify per bulan mimisan anjir. Ya temen lu pasti nggak ada Spotify.
Ya lah Z aja gak tahu siapa. Gue jadi tertarik beli skinnya Z.
Ya, lo mau buang 1 juta atau lo mau fantomnya aja?
Fantomnya aja yang lain mah gak kepake. Paling klasiknya kepake.
Iya, paling klasik gua fantom sama
Apaan?
Om Blizzard paling fantom sama klasik.
Iya memang. Tuh menurut gua udah satu set anjir 1 juta. Gila. Iya, gue cuma di Phantom doang. Di klasik kayak sayang aja, kayak kan klasik dapat banyak skin yang dari Battle Pass.
Kayak tapi jangan jelek aja.
Iya, sayang jelek-jelek aja, cuman ya lo udah ada skin kan. Kalau Phantom kan emang gua nggak ada skin sama sekali. Kalau ada duit lagi ya gue beli klasik. Nah, kurang ya asalnya.
Cewek lo, jangan sama gua.
Apa?
Ngode sama cewek lo, jangan sama gua.
Dulu kayak kalau kode sama lu dibeliin kan.
Ngarang lo.
Waktu itu kalau kode bilang pulang cepet jam 1, kita pergi ke sebuah tempat.
Lagi buka ini nih Shopee punya nih.
A flower blooming out of Rena?
But that flower looks like it's absorbing all of Dana's energy.
And it appears Lenegis is serving as a conduit for that energy to reach here. Could that have been its true purpose all along?
If that's true, do you think the people back on Lenegis are all right?
We can only pray that they are.
Damn it!
Tamat
They've taken enough
tamat.
already.
Lama
When is this going
banget.
to end?
The flower of oblivion.
With everything that's happening, we need to get back to Lenegis. Is the ship still offline?
Unfortunately, yes. Even more so than when it lay dormant.
Can you fix it?
Starships are extremely complex machines. One wrong move while we're out here in space could very well cost us our lives.
Benny nggak ada kabar
So
tuh.
what? We're just
Ah,
stuck
tapi masih
inside here
WA-an.
floating
Gue
around?
tagih
ya.
Gue
For
tagih
how
juga.
long?
Duit apa?
Dia minjem duit kan waktu itu.
I don't
Iya.
believe this.
Maksudnya gue butuh buat
We've made
KPR
it
ya.
all this
Jadi
way,
ya gimana
and
ya?
now we're stuck here? We're watching Dana
Ya
die
dia bilang
before our
bayar,
eyes.
cuman
We
tahu
have no
belum
choice but to
dibayar-bayar.
sit here and starve to death.
Law, calm down.
Ya gimana dia susahnya.
You're not the only one who's worried here.
Iya. Bukan yang kenapa-napa, tapi gue butuh buat KPR. Jadi ya udah deh, buat tagihin. Katanya sih kemarin kita mau bayar, atau kemarin nggak bayar. Dia bilang hari ini gope dulu, tapi terus ya udah, tapi belum ditransfer sama dia.
Mau minta lagi gak
Tahu,
ya?
tahu panjang umur dia balas gue baru balik gue besok jam 12. Kok dia denger?
No.
Ben?
Ayo lo.
Ayo lo.
Ben? Ayo lo. Lo orang siapa yang ngetes gue kan anjing nih nah ini maksudnya ada di sisi lain lu ada yang WA kan Ben nih Ben kayaknya si WH kurang baik deh sekarang.
Lagi nonton stream gue ya.
Kagak. Gue sih lagi ngurusin Shopee.
Ya udah dia bilang gitu udah ya besok jam 12 katanya. Gue transfer lu ya. Oke.
Tapi kasihan sih temen lu sih.
Iya, oke.
Hoki di hal lain tapi suwe di hal lain juga anjing.
Iya. Ya gimana ya? Saya juga ini soalnya. Yang kemarin dia waktu ada fancy itu ada gue bayarin cuman gue lewatin aja lah.
It looks like Lenegis in here.
Ya elah.
Iya. Ya kalau gue memang gak butuh duitnya ini, cuma ini gara-gara ini.
Perhaps someone brought us here. The question is, who?
We haven't been ambushed.
Iya,
so
kayaknya
that
gue kasih
probably
VGA
means
ke
they
tim
aren't
Bapak
hostile.
RI, setahu gue. Lupa
Still,
gue.
why would anyone want to bring us here?
Hey, Shion.
Olah, dia juga sering kasih kita sesuatu.
Iya, betul pas slow aja
We
makanya.
should see where this path takes us.
Ben? Ben? Ah! Dia kan suka gitu aja. Besok main gak nih?
I still can't get over what we saw happening outside the starship.
Oh, lu chat sekarang, Ben.
I've only ever seen Ren still.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Penny besok main gak? Main sama Hanson berlima. Oh Yohan, besok kita masuk VCT, Yohan.
Siap jadi gua anjing. Yo ya ada lu orang nggak ikut VCT sih ya. Ada orang Benkai namanya anjir.
Aku udah lah.
Berarti Hanton mau kesini dong besok.
Kesini, kali nggak tahu.
Lah, akhirnya Discord ini nggak cuma berempat doang isinya berlima doang anjing. Dari zaman batu, kayak isinya berlima doang kira